Have you ever come up with a story idea only to realize it feels a little too familiar, like you've seen it before? That's usually because you're working with a trope. But it's not the trope that's the problem. In fact, every story uses them. The real issue is when a trope stays basic instead of becoming something fresh and compelling. So today we're going to talk about how to take common story tropes and turn them into unique, high concept ideas that actually grab attention. And if you haven't seen my previous video, why your novel idea isn't working, fix it with high concept, I highly recommend checking that out as well, because this builds directly on that idea. Let's start with the basics. A trope is a familiar storytelling pattern. It's something we've seen again and again in books, movies, and TV. Things like the chosen one, enemies to lovers, the reluctant hero, the revenge story, the secret identity. These aren't bad, they're actually incredibly useful because tropes give readers something recognizable, something they can latch onto quickly. But on their own, they're not enough, because if your story is just a chosen one must save the world, that's not a hook, that's a template, which is fine to begin with. But if you don't find a way in which to tweak it, it's likely to fall flat. Why? Because basic tropes are predictable. There's no tension in the idea itself, no curiosity, no sense of, I need to know more. And this ties directly back to what we talked about in the previous video. A strong story idea needs to be clear, specific, and intriguing. A trope gives you the starting point, but it's what you do with it that creates a high concept. So how do you actually do that? Well, you take the trope and you add something unexpected, a twist, a contradiction, a unique situation. Let's look at some examples. Number one, the chosen one. The basic idea of this concept is a young person discovers they're destined to save the world. We've seen this countless times. Now, let's improve upon it so it becomes a young woman discovers she's the chosen one, but the prophecy says she's destined to destroy the world, not save it. Now there's tension. Now there's a question. Does she fight her destiny? Does she accept it? Or does she try to change it? That's a high concept. Example number two, enemies to lovers. The essence of this trope is two enemies fall in love. Again, very familiar. Now, let's refine it so it becomes two rival spies are forced to pose as a married couple while secretly trying to sabotage each other's mission. Now we have conflict built into every interaction. The trope is still there, but it's been sharpened. Example number three, the revenge story. The basic trope is a man seeks revenge on those who wronged him. Now, let's push it further so it becomes a man sets out to destroy the people who betrayed him, only to discover that they were protecting him from a truth that could ruin everything. Now the revenge itself becomes complicated. Now there's moral tension. Example number four, secret identity. Here the basic trope is a character hides their true identity. Now let's elevate that to a woman discovers she's been living under a false identity, but the person she used to be is wanted for a crime she doesn't remember committing. Now we have mystery, we have stakes and urgency. So what's happening in all of these examples? Well, we're taking something familiar and adding a layer of complexity. Here are a few ways in which you can do that. Number 1, add a twist. Take the expected outcome and flip it. Number 2, introduce a contradiction. Combine two opposing ideas like a healer who causes harm every time she saves someone. Number 3, raise the stakes. Make the consequences more personal or more immediate. Number 4, add a unique constraint. Force the characters into a situation that creates tension, like the fake marriage and the enemies to lovers example. So if you're working on a story idea right now, try this. Start by identifying the core trope. Then ask yourself, what's the most interesting version of this? What haven't I seen before? What would make someone pause and say, tell me more? You don't need to reinvent storytelling. You just need to make your version feel fresh. Why this matters? This is exactly what we talked about in the previous video. If your idea isn't working, it's often because it's too vague or too familiar. Turning a trope into a high concept gives your story a clear identity. It makes it easier to pitch, easier to market, and honestly more exciting to write. So remember, tropes aren't the problem. They're the foundation. But if you want your story to stand out, you need to build something unique on top of them. Add a twist, create tension, make it specific, because that's what turns a basic idea into something compelling. If you want, drop your story idea or your trope in the comments and I'll help you turn it into a stronger high concept. And if you found this helpful, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more writing tips. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.